Welcome to Self-Care Tuesdays with KKM. Self-Care Tuesdays with KKM is a podcast about three women with different lifestyles raising awareness on the importance of self-care to reach one's highest potential. Now here are your hosts, Kat, Krista, and Maria.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to our podcast, Self-Care Tuesdays with KKM. KKM stands for our initials, Kat, Krista, and Maria. And this podcast will be dedicated to the different ways that you can self-care. To kick it off, I'll introduce myself. My name is Maria. I work in marketing, and I also have a website called How I Met Your Brand, which is a Q&A series dedicated to sharing the career journey of women to provide guidance and inspiration. I'm also working on a book. The working title is Eventually, and you'll just have to stay tuned for that. And I'll continue to talk about it during the podcast to make sure you guys are up to date.
Hi, I'm Krista Narstan, and I am the 1K of this KKM, and I own Selfish Lifestyle Therapy, and I'm also writing a book called Survival Mode, the stories and reflections on overcoming childhood abuse and traumas by tapping into the sixth sense. Selfish Lifestyle Therapy stands on three pillars on the three aspects of yourself: the mind, body, and spirit. I am a chi therapist, a medium psychic, and I am a NLP, neuro-linguistic programming coach. I am a mother to a miracle baby. You know, doctors only gave me 7% chance to get pregnant with her, and she's here. And I know, right? I have to put that in there. Yeah. And I am a wife to a supportive and loving husband, and I am, most importantly, an empowered woman. So I am super happy to share this time with you all, and let's do it.
Yes, Sorrel, thank you for your time.
Hi, my name is Kat. I'm a wife and mom of three very active boys who are known as the Trendsetters. One is a rapper, the other is a DJ, and my youngest recently shared that he wants to be a part of the group by being a dancer. All of them were Wilhelmina models and act as well. Now that they're older, I decided to become a certified life coach, and I am the founder of thecatsphere.com, which is a motivational platform that strives to inspire people.
The purpose of this podcast is to talk about the different ways that you can self-care. And I think self-care is a really important topic for women, not just women, but men, everyone should be paying a lot of attention to, because most of the time we, go about our day to day, not realizing that we're forgetting to take care of the most important person we need to take care of, which is ourselves.
So did you go through something that made self-care a priority to you? And what does self-care mean to you? Because it means so many different things to so many people.
I guess before I talk about what it means to me, how I discovered the real purpose or the importance of self-care is when I went through a very difficult time in my life. And I honestly, after self-caring, what it means to me is it's all about really understanding your core and taking care. And by core, I mean your mind, body, and spirit, and really understanding who you are as a person. Because when you understand yourself as a person, you're able to take care of yourself, and you're also able to have enough energy to give parts of yourself and share that with the rest of the world. Yeah. And also self-care to me means not in addition to understanding yourself, it also means really taking care of all aspects of yourself that you're giving to the world, because we're all interconnected in some way.
Absolutely. What about you, Krista?
Self-care. Self-care is very important. Obviously, this is, what I do, especially in my world of energy. I am, by the way, I'm just going to interject here. You are getting three different aspects from three different worlds. Maria is the aspect of the world of corporations and, bullet points and emails and Google Calendar,
I am very type A. I am type A/creative.
Yeah, that's the aspect of her. So
that's why we work.
Right, and that's why we work. And it's a really cool balance, because I am the aspect of the spiritualist and the energy therapist. Yeah. And beautiful Kat here, again, as she mentioned before, she is the familial relationship and interrelationships, whether it is a familiar mother to child, or is it a romantic relationship, or even friendship. It's amazing what she can do. So self-care to me is very important. That's why my company is called Selfish Lifestyle, right? I am an advocate of being selfish at this point.
Explain your version of selfish, though, because...
So selfish, in my world of energy, everybody has their own world. Maria has her world. I have my world. Kat has her world. We have this whole entire microcosm that is just us. And this is why that point of you saying take care of your energy, it's very important because you have to know your own energy. You have to know what triggers you. Yeah. You have to know, because what might bother Maria might not bother me, or what might what her language is, right? Absolutely. So in all aspects, you have to be very accountable and very, very responsible of the energy that you are pushing out.
That's so true. Yeah,
exactly.
That'll be one of the self-care topics.
Yeah, projection and deflection, both ways. So self-care is if things are going wrong or unhinged somehow or imbalanced, you don't look at the outside world. You look at the reflection that is looking back at you. Yeah. Right. And so this is what the first hint of being like, oh, I got to take care of me. Right. Why am I unhinged?
Why you're
how
not balanced?
Do I get there?
Yeah.
Right. So this is where I really get hard on self-care. It's very, very important. I'm adamant about giving techniques to clients and making sure that they are doing this type of work.
Go through something that made you such an advocate for self-care?
Oh, yes.
We got a long way to go.
Yeah. There's a lot, but I want yes, it's definitely. I've always thought that I had balanced I went through a very traumatic childhood, a very traumatic life. So my mind, I'm very alpha. My mindset, in my world is the ego, right? Not bad. The ego needs to be balanced. That's all it is. But it got me through where I am today. Yeah. What I did neglect, however, was the spiritual energy part. I am what you call a natural medium. A natural medium is someone that is born with this gift. I call it gift now before I was calling it a curse. And I worked throughout that, right? So I'm what you call a natural medium, and I didn't really fully come out of the spiritual closet until about 4 years ago. And that's when I dove into the world of self-care because I was getting physically hurt. I was also, it was affecting also my world of, my stagnant world of tangibility, going into the salon, working, putting on a computer, doing my clients. And, but here you go. If your energy is off and is trying to tell you something, it's going to stop you right smack in the middle of your joyous world, your joyous. So that is where I decided to really go full on.
So I also went through my own thing. I'm sure a lot of moms will say that when they have children, they lose themselves. I completely did.
Yes.
After having the 3, I was never the one that wanted to stay home and be like the stay-at-home mom and have, the husband that goes to work and no. I wanted to be a businesswoman. That's what I've always wanted for myself. So it was a transition for me to have to. So, I had to adjust to being a stay-at-home mom, and then I think what happened was I owned it, and then I completely lost myself because I'm an extremist, so I'm all or nothing. If I'm going to stay home with my kids, it became all about them. So that's why they were modeling and they're doing what they're doing now. It's because I gave up myself for them.
With trendsetters, right?
Yeah,
trendsetters, yes.
So it's an awesome ride. I mean, now we're all coming together. And
but here you go. That attests to what you have just said.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right? Saying that, you just didn't want to be a mother. You're an entrepreneur, and yet here you are. You're pushing this.
Exactly.
Correct. Right?
So it's just, I want moms to know that they can have a balance between both. I had none. So after going through my own experience, I want to definitely be there. I also felt alone. I didn't feel like I had anyone to talk to. I realized that I was depressed. I didn't realize. At the time, I didn't know that I was depressed, but I didn't even want to wake up out of bed or get dressed or anything. No one could tell that now when they look at me. But back then, I loved winter because I had this long jacket, this long puffy jacket down to my ankles, and I would be in my pajamas all day long.
Well, I feel like you guys really opened up. Maybe it's time for me to open up a little bit. I was a little closed off. No. That's great, though.
No, but I wanted to just put that. I have a 2-year-old, and we have this person who you don't know, but I know, and she put a really raw picture of herself, her face crying, like on Instagram, on social media.
Yeah.
And I appreciated it so much because I was that.
real.
It's real.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
all the mothers I knew were so upset. They were like, how dare, because she literally said, this is what it is. This is the reality of motherhood,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
newborn. And I remember I was fine. And then I'm in the shower and Madsen walks into the shower because I was sobbing crying. I had no freaking idea what was happening. And Madsen was like, are you okay? And I'm like, I have no idea what's going on. But she was brave enough to do so. And I felt like good.
Yeah.
But all the mothers around me were like, no, she's making it look like motherhood is so bad, and
No, it's not.
the
It's real.
It's
Yeah.
real, and
I think that's what needs
I
to be
want
spoken about.
and I'm glad you
why I'm
spoke
here.
about that. Yes, and I really appreciate that.
So this is kind of what inspired our self-care. And what were you going to say?
No, I was just gonna say it's. I think it's amazing how I'm surrounded by so many women in my life, and also how I have a blog and a book dedicated to empowering women, but I didn't grow up with a mother. Like I was raised by a dad, so my dad, and it's interesting to me how you guys talk about your children because I didn't get a firsthand experience on how a mom should be treating her daughter because that's what I missed out on. So it's always interesting to hear your experience with your children, see how you interact with your kids. But it's also like a cool dynamic when I think about it. It's like I found a mom in each and every one of the females in my life. I feel like that's such a cool thing. And as we're talking about like self-care too, I mean, this self-care is about anything and everything that you want it to be. Now that you guys have opened up, it's something that I think is important because personally for me, when my mom left me, it was a very tough time as a kid. Like I didn't know what to do. I didn't even know who to run to. And I felt like running to someone meant that I was helpless. So I kind of grew up with a very tough exterior, sort of mimicked the strength that my dad had. And then also I had a brother who passed away when I was 14, when my dad remarried. It was a very tough time in my life. And again, if I knew as a 14-year-old what self-care meant, or if I had people around me that told me, this is what you need to do, this is how you should feel your emotions, but I was taught to almost suppress it in a way where, not that I wasn't allowed to feel, but it was like, you just have to be tough. But I think it's important for men and women to express what they are currently feeling at that moment, whether it's going to therapy or talking about it.
Because this is now in the realm of like what I'm writing, that you survived, right? And you have to also honor that part.
Yeah.
Right? Yes, the tough exterior. Yes, the ego. We're alpha.
Yeah.
We pushed on. Everybody has gone through their thing. But you also have to understand that that's how you had to survive.
Yeah.
And now
true.
we look back at that 14-year-old Maria and say, you know what? You're good.
Yeah.
You're good.
Yeah.
Right? But what we want to do eventually, is that when we do bring up these traumas, when we do bring up this catalyst, that we look at it from love and we look at it from compassion.
That's true.
And it's no longer that, God, like my shit sucked, like shit sucked. But
you know what I found
yeah.
strength into? Humor.
Yeah.
That's why I think I am a very like active kid. I'm also
Sit
like
down,
I love
Maria.
my
No, just-
alone time. I know. I'm always being told to sit down or like pay attention. But I think when you find humor in life itself, you're able to see the world from a different perspective. And when you come from a place of compassion, you almost see things as this is how life is, and I just have to flip the script and just do what I have to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so what you can expect from this podcast for Self-Care Tuesdays is just us breaking down each way we self-care.
Yeah, there will be different topics. So as we break it down, one topic could be about prioritization, the importance of really managing your time well, because we live in a crazy world with crazy schedules, and it's also important to focus on time for yourself, for your family, and for the important things that will allow you to grow. So the topics can be about prioritization to surviving a breakup, taking time for yourself as a mother, or
Tips we'll give you can expose you guys to some cool ways to self-care as well.
physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I think
So that is an introduction.
And that's it, guys. Thanks so much for listening to Self-Care Tuesdays with KKM. We look forward to sharing with you guys again in 2 weeks. If you need to get in touch with us before then, you can head over to our website, www.selfcaretuesdays.com. And all our social handles are there. You can email us, whatever you need. We're here. Thanks again so much for listening. It was fun sharing. We'll talk to you guys soon.